Hi, welcome back to Renee Ruth Music. Hope everyone is doing well.
Yeah.
And we're live today.
On
TikTok. I love this.
Isn't that wild? It's right below. Yeah.
Amazing.
It's so we don't know what we're doing.
This is the first time, so
we don't know.
We'll have fun.
We'll just have fun. It'll be good. Yeah.
How are you doing? You
I'm
good?
Good.
Yeah?
How are you doing?
Excellent. So today I thought we would talk about playlists.
Playlists. Who out there has got a playlist that they love?
We love a playlist. Well, because obviously we talked about Valentine's Day not too long ago. We were talking about all the playlists for that.
Love
but
lists.
So when I was doing research, I came across a couple of things which I was like, okay, this is kind of cool because it all kind of goes together. So Spotify, which I love, just launched a DJ feature.
What? Like, can you live DJ on Spotify?
So this is what it is. So Spotify launched DJ feature offering personalized music with AI-powered commentary. So literally you get a personal DJ for your playlists.
Are we going back to like the FM days where there was a guy that's like, or like Delilah? Like I walked in the other day, Delilah was on at my house. Like Delilah was like, "This is Delilah. Thank you for listening." Will the AI take calls?
Right. So basically what it is, because like I was like, I'm very curious about this. I don't understand how this works. And it makes sense because I can't tell you the number of times that I'm like, I just want something to play that I like. I don't want to have to filter through my playlist and figure out what I want to hear. So basically it learns what you like.
Based off what you're
based off of based off
Okay.
what you're listening to, what your playlists have been. And basically will like customize, like you literally have your own DJ. And so literally you no longer have to go in to a particular playlist and like pick a song. Like it's just going to curate this collection.
Does it add new things along with what you like? Or is it curating it just out of your other playlists?
I would think, well, I don't know. And here's the thing, because the more I read it, I was like, YouTube already does this for me.
Well,
because literally I listen to a lot of music on YouTube. That's where I end up for whatever reason.
for real?
For real. Like literally that's kind of how I don't know why, that's just what I had done. But I'll find a song and for whatever reason I think because it was always free. So I'd always go to YouTube, I'd look up a song, I'd listen to it. But YouTube literally makes a playlist for me. Like it's learned what I like and they are in like the singers that I like because I've picked enough songs.
Yeah.
Because it's on my same account. So I've picked enough songs over the years that is literally like when I pick the first song, it then has created a playlist for me.
Doesn't Apple Music do this? I feel like Apple Music's got that like,
So I don't know. So I literally am YouTube and Spotify. So now the fact that Spotify is now saying that they're going to do this for me too, I'm like, I'm in hog heaven now.
I'm a little
I'm so excited
at Spotify because we tried to put this music podcast on Spotify, and Spotify just said to us that because he actually was the one that did this.
Right.
Like, Spotify just said they won't let me host my music podcast regardless of the rights. So like, but I found that weird because they just did it for the music podcast, not for the real estate.
The other.
I have to look into that. Like it was like they got mad because I was using somebody's music, but the only music I have on any of my podcasts is my own.
Is your music, yeah.
But it was saying regardless of ownership or legalities or whatever, that they wanted me to use Spotify's artists, like something that they've curated. And I was like, I'm not gonna go back and redo this whole thing just for you. Like every other platform accepted it. So I've never been a big Spotify girl. The only reason I've ended up on Spotify is because I have a bandmate that is like, hey, like let's get some ideas for, and we're collaborating sound ideas, and he uses Spotify.
Got it.
I tend to always be in Apple Music, and that is because I'm such a freaking Mac head. Like, is that even a word? Like,
it should be a word.
My dad. So the backstory is like my dad was a computer. He was a high school computer teacher, and in the 80s. Well, I mean, he was that back in the 70s before I existed, but in the 80s, he introduced the Mac computer to the high school that he was in, and so we were like one of the first households to ever have the Mac with the floppy disk. And so like I always thought Mac was such a big deal because my dad had like brought it into the school. So like we've just always been Mac users. So like Android tried to show up, and even though Android actually has like some arguably superior features to the Apple, I'm like, nope.
I've tried.
You tried with me?
I've tried going back to Android so many
Can't do
times.
it.
I can't do it.
Because but they do have phenomenal
They do have really
features.
good. I know, but what I found funny about it is that because one of the big things is that Android is so customizable, whereas the Mac isn't.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I think I kind of like not having to customize.
I don't want to have to think.
I don't have to think about it. I'm like, I just want it to be
put
done.
It all together.
Yeah,
I know,
and it works for me. So.
Right,
yeah.
Guys, if you're listening, like, feel free to drop comments below. We always would love to hear what you have to think. But just throwing that out, we'll get to it at the end. So,
yeah. So the other thing we're going to talk about with playlists, and I know we've gone on the topic a couple of times. We just don't know enough about it. We still have to learn more.
We're always learning.
We're always learning.
Like, just so you know, like, we have no idea what we're doing.
No,
95% of the time.
So,
and we don't care.
We just have a good time.
We just have a good time.
So, in terms of Spotify, because this apparently is a Spotify day, Spotify is also now testing a token-enabled music playlist.
Token-enabled?
Like NFTs.
I feel like I'm now at like a slot machine. Wait, what?
Right? Like NFTs.
Oh!
Remember, we've talked about NFTs a couple of times. We just don't know a whole lot about it.
Look, I even bought a Udemy class on NFT. We listened to it in the car going somewhere. And if you know about NFTs,
still not sure.
And you know good things about NFTs, and you know a place we could go to learn about NFTs that's like super dumbed down. Not super dumbed down.
No.
Like, we're not like wicked unintelligent.
No,
but like,
we did listen to a lot about it, and it's still a little confusing.
Look, I
can't wrap my head around it.
My brain didn't retain it.
I can't wrap my head around it.
My brain was like, and I'm like, but I want to understand it. My brain's like,
I know.
too much.
We're trying.
Okay, so token enabled.
Yeah, so Spotify is testing a token enabled music playlist. Mm-hmm. So it's in a pilot phase for 3 months to see if this is going to work.
It responds.
Yeah, to kind of see if it responds. So basically, it allows holders of NFTs to connect their wallets and listen to curated music, which I actually kind of thought was really cool.
I know, but then why am I paying for that feature when I can get the other one for free?
Because I think the point of this is that this is music you can't access anywhere else.
What?
So
is this like when Kings of Leon made their entire album on NFT?
Correct. And you can't access it.
If you wanted to have that album, you had to buy it through an NFT.
Through an NFT. So I think this is kind of the same way. So it's like you're literally it's curated, customizable playlist that you're only going to have access to through this platform.
But what? Okay, so now I'm looking at this from an artist perspective. Like when I think of music that I made. And that's the whole reason this podcast exists, is because I make music. I know that my socials will suggest we do many other things.
We do a lot of things.
but that's one of them, and it's very important. And as a musician, I'm like, when, even when we were talking about the Kings of Leon, because I think we had like we did a podcast trying to take a shot at NFTs. And I think
we're going to have to go back to that.
Yeah.
We're going to try again.
But we were talking about the Kings of Leon because they did that album, and I'm like, when would I want to narrow the audience of the people that could hear my music? Like, I make it because I want to share it with as many people as possible.
Right.
And, to have it where it's just like, is that a money move then on an artist's part? Because
and that's the whole thing that what we're trying to wrap our mind around.
I know there's people watching that are like, come on, it's like da-da-da-da-da.
It doesn't make sense in my head why, and I don't know.
Maybe it's just objectives, different objectives.
I have many questions about it.
Yeah.
Like, are you literally making music that's only going to be accessible through an NFT? Or is the point of the curated playlist the fact that they have figured out how to bring a lot of amazing music together into one place?
Or
like a playlist.
Have you seen that some of the major artists don't host their stuff on Spotify, et cetera, et cetera? Well, there's no money in it.
No, that's true.
So what if that's who they're appealing to, are the artists that were like, I don't want my stuff everywhere. I want, I can make my, I don't really know offhand. I know there's artists that are not on there because I've gone searching.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's them.
Yeah.
And they've agreed to do it because there's a high dollar to it. Like, NFTs are not cheap.
They're not cheap. I mean, that's a whole.
We're literally looking into like one ether is like $1,200 or something.
Yeah, I mean
crazy.
it's a very interesting
It's like
market.
an upper echelon of wealth in the
Yeah.
world or something. Like if you're like into NFTs or anything about it, please drop like
Please tell us.
we want to
understand.
know more.
Yeah.
Like we want to understand because it's not our world.
Yeah.
It's literally like another world in our world. Like it's
It
like
is.
look. It's like we're living here, and then like NFT world is like here.
Yeah. I
It's
know.
like this thing everywhere.
Well, even UMG. Well, this phrase didn't make sense to me either. But UMG's NFT band Kingship, which I'm like, is that
Wait, say that again?
UMG?
Yeah. Oh gosh, I heard UF.
No, UMG. Their NFT band Kingship also shared that it's created a token-gated playlist for NFT holders featuring Queen, Missy Elliott, Snoop Dogg, and Led Zeppelin.
Okay, UMG has an NFT
band, which that in and of itself made no sense to me. I'm like,
but in the band, you're saying those artists are part of that band?
Yes, they created a playlist that features these other bands.
Their band created a playlist that features those bands.
Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed.
There are so many questions. I researched this and I still have so many questions.
I feel like I'm in physics class again in college or something where I'm like, what? And I know there's someone watching this like, why don't you get this?
I know, right? Please help us. Well, because Led Zeppelin isn't even like they're not making new music, so it'd have to be music that's already out there.
Yeah, right.
So that's why I'm saying like this curated playlist must be like really.
We are missing something about this curated.
Yes.
Yeah, because I feel like if I could curate a playlist without paying, 4 figures.
Right? I know. So I mean, I'm assuming are other benefits to having the NFT in general,
backdoor stage access.
Right.
Like but he's not touring anymore. Like
yeah.
Because I mean, their cell phone number.
If
you buy this NFT, you can call Led Zeppelin.
For real. I mean, I just don't. Yeah.
$10 million.
I mean, I do appreciate a good playlist, and I don't want to have to think about it. So maybe they're like, I don't want to have to put this together. I will pay the $1,200.
Okay, so I can respect that. Like I'm, in the world that we're in now, I'm like, I don't have time to clean that house. I will pay for someone.
I will pay for someone to do it.
There must be people that have graduated to curated lists.
So I mean, yeah, because I mean, because I would not even know where to start putting a playlist together with those 4 artists. Like what songs from because if you think all these artists have 10 plus albums, how are you going to pick?
Isn't that so easy? Because like Spotify, for example, would take the most played.
Right.
Because they literally categorize everybody's music. So the most streamed, I should say.
Sure.
And then if you just grab the most streamed, you're probably picking.
You could be.
Potentially their best stuff.
Yeah. But
we have so many questions.
I know there's a lot to unpack.
You just opened a whole little.
I did. Well, I mean, I think we're gonna end up doing NFTs next week.
Whoa!
So he's
gonna have to research it for that one.
So this is just kind of launching into it.
So you might have to tune in next week to bring your commentary on NFTs.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot to unpack. But when I saw that they were doing curated playlists with NFTs, I was like, oh, we've got to talk about this.
This has to be explained. This has to be explained.
We need to know. So if you guys know. If you've heard about this, and again, it's just in the pilot phase. So
I feel like NFTs, they have been around for a while, but I think like it's just this massive piloting.
So they're piloting a lot of things because the article was written literally 2 days ago.
Oh, shoot.
So like this is literally like they just launched this pilot.
Remember when this was filmed. You're getting brand new information when this is filmed. This whole thing will be defunct next week.
So they've got 3 months to put this together to see if it's going to. I mean, that's the thing. It may flop.
It may flop.
Like they may be like, nope, not interested. It's not. You're not putting enough together for us. Again, like you said, something that we couldn't just go to Spotify and get them to put a playlist together.
It reminds me of like if you were from our generation, it's like remember the beta VHS battle? Like we had these battles on like far more physical planes. Like
right.
Yeah, like which one's gonna win? Like, and then it's almost like you're hedging your bets because it's weird they both existed for a minute.
Right.
Like going back to beta, like my dad thought the beta would win. We had beta machines. And then when beta lost, I don't even know how they lost. It's just like VHS took over, right? Just kind of like it's wild how these, kind of we end up in these spaces where there's competing ideas and they get tested and then one ends up winning.
No, that's true.
I just dated myself beta.
No, it's
VHS.
Totally fine. Well, no, so here's a question then. So Because we know that when a brief comes through, obviously you're having to put a song together for that brief. Potentially. So would, in that same vein, would you not treat the NFT the same way? And be like, hey, if they buy this NFT, they're going to get a song that's not going to be released to the masses. And maybe treat it like you were doing a brief.
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, it probably comes down to dollars and cents, right? So like
Fair.
if they're like if like Kings of Leon, they probably made bank off of that approach.
Oh, I'm sure. Because they had set up enough before that.
Ahead of time.
So where they're like, okay, yeah, we know this is going to be a
They
great
didn't
album.
need it. But then isn't there just a tiny piece of you where you make that you just want like
you want everyone to have access.
You just want everyone to be listening. And then like guess what? If you go to a Kings of Leon show, are you not allowed to perform that stuff? Because it's like there are so many
Oh my God, there's so many
like,
questions. That's
and
true.
I like half of my love is the performing.
Right.
So if I so then what are the NFT buyers the only ones coming to the show?
I was gonna say you're gonna have like NFT shows.
And assuming everyone's available on the same day. Like
right.
There's so many things.
Wow.
What a wild, wonderful world we're in. There's so many ways. Just woo.
I know. Yeah.
Speed of light.
So obviously we need to find out more.
We'll work on that.
We need to know more.
We will work on more.
Yeah. So there you go.
There we go.
Yeah. So that's kind of our little pre-launch to NFTs.
I feel like I have to take a breath.
So much.
Is there a test later? Like, Chad, I have to write an exam tomorrow.
Right, I know.
I'm not ready.
Come fully prepared next week.
We're
going to talk all NFTs.
Oh my gosh. Do we have a fun fact?
We do.
What? That's my favorite part. So if you don't know, Fun Fact Friday. Okay, so we film this on Friday.
We do film this on Fridays.
And it's Friday for us.
Yes.
And we have a fun fact on our Friday. So
we do.
join us on Friday.
Yeah.
This Friday. Every day's Friday.
Every day is Friday. So this is a fun fact. I did not know this.
Facts by fun.
I did not know this. So Michael Jackson once tried to buy Marvel Comics.
Really?
Did you know this?
No, but why?
That's crazy. So, oh, Michael. Michael Jackson was a huge Spider-Man fan.
Was he?
And he wanted to play the role. So he tried to buy it so that he could play the role.
Look,
Michael, you could
I am not going to say that I have not done so. I'm just going to make enough money to do it myself.
Right. He could have just auditioned.
And they wouldn't sell it to him?
Would not. No, because Stan Lee believed that he wasn't a good businessman.
What?
Stan Lee can say whatever he wants. And he did. So he did not believe that but he did say that he believed that Michael would have been great in the role.
Oh my goodness! I hope Michael knew that.
Right, I know. Stan Lee died in 2018, but yeah. So he said that he didn't believe that he was a good businessman, and he wanted to know that if it was sold, it was going to go to somebody that would.
I feel like that's said about a lot of musicians.
Well.
Because musicians live in the right brain.
Yeah.
Typically, the creatives are in the right brain.
We've talked about so many of them that we're not good.
No.
We're not good at it.
No. And like the left brain is reserved for like the businessman, right?
Yeah.
So I could see why he might feel. But then I want to say, was he in his business? Like, how can you say that about someone unless you're in their books? Like,
right? Who is he talking to?
Like, what inside information did he have? Like,
yeah.
Because last time I checked, Michael did pretty good for himself.
He did. I don't know who ran his books, but
that's the thing. Like usually we get to that place, it's not you.
Right. I know it's true. Well, I mean,
time for all that.
Dolly said the same thing about Elvis.
What did she say?
Well, because remember, she wouldn't sell him "I Will Always Love You" because she didn't want him to do it.
What? Wait, but why?
Because she didn't believe that the success was going to come from him. So
Dolly runs on her gut. Woman runs on a strong gut.
She does.
Because Whitney crushed.
Yeah, and she is a very successful businesswoman.
Ridiculously successful.
She knew her stuff.
It proves it exists.
It does exist. It does exist.
Oh, Michael.
Oh, I know.
We loved you as Spider-Man.
I know that would have been interesting to see him play that. I didn't know he even wanted to act.
Stop taking words out of my brain. I literally sitting here going, like, can he act?
I've never seen him do it.
I guess if you're a performer, but see, a performer to me, sometimes, not always, but it's kind of like you coming out and Where like acting is like you being literally something else.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing. I don't know. I don't know. So many questions.
But
I
then
just
there
don't
are
know.
so many that cross over.
They do, and
Singers,
they do very well with it.
And do great. Yeah.
But I just, did he do anything?
That's a great question.
Did Michael ever act? That was never a thought in my mind. Like,
and then
I never
also,
questioned
why did
that.
he just audition?
That's
I feel
what
like
I'm
if you're
saying.
Michael
Why did you
Jackson,
not-
You could literally call someone and be like, yo.
I
So
wanna
the
be
next Spider-Man.
Like, I want to do
And so it'd
this.
be like Michael Jackson in the movies. Yes.
Right?
Maybe it's because of all the negative stuff that
Yeah. I would like to know what year this was.
when he was trying to buy
When he was
it.
trying to buy it. Like,
Google question.
how big was Spider-Man at that point?
Yeah, that he couldn't make
So,
that phone call.
That he couldn't make that phone call. Very curious about this. I would like to
we have so many questions.
So many questions
We have
today.
Answers. We want to hear them. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.